dude. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking joking. If we ran a poll right now, straight up, if we ran a poll in America, if any polling company was brave enough to run a poll right now, anonymous, how many people think the killer should go free? You would be shocked by the results. Okay? You would be shocked. All right. Speaking of karma and people who have done a lot of wrong, but have consistently done it within the within the confines of legality. Let's talk about the story. UnitedHealthcare CEO gets fucking fucked by a hitman. Now, of course, I must urge you not to Fed post in this chat, even though, holy shit, everyone. Like, I think this is one of the first instances where I've ever seen so much universal support for something that is so criminal. You know what I mean? But honestly, I don't know. We're living in interesting times. We're living in scary times. We're living in interesting times. Let's take a look at this story.
For the suspect who gunned down UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is at the hotel with the latest on the investigation. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. 24 hours after this.
Okay, what is Fed posting, though? Fed posting is when people just like get out of hand and say unhinged shit in the chat that might get them the attention of federal law enforcement. Also, oftentimes it's federal law enforcement that writes stuff like that in online chats to agitate people so that they can pop them, you know, coerce people. But some crazy stuff happened yesterday in New York City. And honestly, very interesting times that we live in. Let's take a look.
Style killing. The killer is at large, but he left behind a trail of clues here at the scene that may lead police to him and to a possible motive, suggesting anger with the insurance industry. This morning, a frantic manhunt for the man authorities spotted on this survey.
So this dude, big homie over here, okay, Mr. CEO, walking up to his hotel, okay, having a wonderful day. You know, he's like, man, I can't wait to get a child with cancer, no coverage, so their family is saddled with medical debt. You know, just a regular old day for Mr. CEO. He's just like, walking over to my medical conference where I'm going to go, you know, hang out with a bunch of other CEOs, and we're going to talk about how many claims we denied, that sort of shit. I assume that's what's happening in the mind of a healthcare CEO on any given Sunday, right? Like, you got to be constantly thinking like, man, $35 billion in pure profit this year. What a banger. Artificial intelligence to deny claims, 90% of which are actually wrong. What a fantastic invention I engaged in. How the medical innovation, oh my Lord, the amount of coverage that we can just fucking deny because we made up some random AI thing. So sick. Like, that's probably what's going on in his mind, okay? I mean, he's up early. That Sigma grind set. It's 6 a.m. Okay? He up early as hell thinking about all the ways in which he's going to ruin the lives of tens of thousands of Americans. Because if you're that rich and that's your job, why the fuck are you up at 6 a.m.? You know what I mean? Like, why are you up 6 a.m.? Turns out this guy, he out-grindsetted the grindset CEO. Turns out he's up at 6 a.m. This motherfucker was up at 4 a.m. Okay? There's always a guy out there working harder, working smarter. He was like, oh, yeah, you're up at 6 a.m.? Guess what, dude? You're down at 6:30. Okay? That's what he said. Walks up to him, bloom, blap, bloom. Now, those weren't the sounds that came out of that gun because, as you can see, this is a very long barrel. Guess what? That's not a barrel. That is a silencer. Okay? That's right. Now, the interesting part about that is, no, this was not a fart. It was silent, but it was not a fart. Okay? It was a suppressor on his pistol, and most likely using was subsonic rounds as well. That's the speculation on why the bullet, why he had to constantly like rechamber after, what is that what's called? Like when your gun is jamming, basically, which was really crazy because it looked like an open and shut, like professional case. And the reason why I say that is because he was so cool throughout this entire process. I don't mean cool like, oh my God, he's like swagged out. That's a totally separate conversation. I mean, like he was cool he was calm as a cucumber. Like he was very calm throughout this process. He was very thorough. Now, people were saying that maybe it was because he wanted to get the casings after every shot, like collect it, professional hitman style, Sicario style. Turns out he wanted to leave the casings there, as a matter of fact, because he wrote stuff on the fucking casings. He wrote stuff on the shells, which is wild. Okay. And when I first saw the story and I saw the media coverage over it, I thought it was very funny that people were like, yeah, this healthcare CEO got executed in broad daylight in the middle of New York City, and the motive is unknown. And I was like, yeah, no, I think the motive is known. Like, it's one of those guys where I don't think this was a gay lovers quarrel. I don't think this was like, oh, his ex-wife called out a hit on him. Like, it's like, that would be a unique setting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, if you heard Vladimir Putin got assassinated, you wouldn't be like, I wonder what the motive is here. You know what I mean? Like, there's many motives in that situation, but like, you feel me? Like, I doubt someone is doing that over the anger that they feel towards, I don't know, some kind of new tax that Vladimir Putin implemented. Right? Yeah, a real Paul Pelosi gay lovers quarrel situation. So, interestingly enough, this happened.
This video shooting and killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Police said it was no
What's crazy is this fucker was wearing a quarter zip in this profile picture. Like, it is such, at this point, it's such a meme. Like, these guys, they love their quarter zips, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing, dude? Why? You took a headshot. Well, no pun intended. And you were repping the quarter zip in the headshot, What are we doing here? What's going on? Y'all don't got nothing else? You just got quarter zips?
Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
The gun appears to have a silencer and jammed. When the shooter cleared it, police say he fired again.
From watching the video, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms, as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly.
So that's a really interesting predicament because on the one hand, I don't know enough about guns, at least like suppressors and subsonic rounds, but like, I feel like if he was like a massive pro, I suspect that like some things that he did made me think that he is professional, but some things that he did made me not feel like he's professional. So I feel like when he has a suppressor on, like, shouldn't you be testing that at some point to make sure that it doesn't jam? Am I wrong about this? Gun perverts, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though, like, is it that inconsistent that even if you have a pistol, even if you have a suppressor, even if you test it out, right? Even if you test it out ahead of time, it still has the capacity to jam. So like that kind of made me feel like maybe this is not a pro, but also the fact that he cleared it and walked slowly and continued, eyes on the prize, that made me think he is a pro. The gun wouldn't cycle because of the subsonic ammo plus the suppressor. The gun isn't jamming. Subsonic rounds don't have enough power to move the slide all the way. Yeah, that's what I assume, but it didn't jam. You have to manually re-rack with subsonic ammo and a suppressor. The one they say delay is the one that blocked the gun, which is wild. It's not the ammo, not the suppressor, but it's odd he didn't test this since some guns will jam with subsonic ammo. Suppressors create more back pressure, so it should make the gun cycle faster. But if he had subsonic rounds, they would be quieter, but maybe not cycle the action. And yes, you would test it, but he may have removed the mainspring so the gun doesn't cycle on purpose because it makes it way quieter. The fact he was proficient in clearing the jam means he was expecting it to jam. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, putting myself in his shoes, right? In a situation, not when I'm like, you know, executing the fucking CEO of a healthcare company that is responsible for denied coverage to tens of thousands of Americans. I'm just saying, like, in a situation where, like, if I'm shooting a gun at all at a range and it fucking jams, I don't have the technical proficiency to deal with it. I'm gonna freak the fuck out, right? So the fact that he was able to clear it while continuing to walk made me feel like he knew what the fuck he was doing. So interesting stuff. Why would it change my opinion? Clearly the gun is cycling because gas is being released from the top of the gun when it's firing and is experiencing an FD, FTF. The only difference subsonic ammunition would make is what type of failure the gun is experiencing. Appears to be a BNT VP9 magazine fed manually cycled gun with a wait, no, was it a man? No, it's not. This person just made that up. VP9 is actually on my gun wish list. I didn't realize I had so many fucking gun fuckers in the chat, dude. What's wrong with you? Y'all are some real freaks, you know that? Like, what kind of, I've never even seen a gun like this. What do you mean this is on your wish list? I didn't even know this existed. Shit looks like a gun that a child would assume a gun looks like. Okay? This literally feels like a gun I would draw in like 5th grade before I ever encountered American gun culture.
I'm starting to see a bunch of comments coming through on mostly my Wellrod videos suggesting that Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, who is...
Dude, gun channels are having a fucking incredible time.
...recently killed in New York City, was in fact killed with a Wellrod or a modern VP9. All of those comments, those theories are in fact pretty conclusively wrong. I've watched that video, the surveillance video myself.
Okay, first of all, I don't want to give anybody pointers, like especially the surveillance state, but how the fuck is CCTV footage in 2024 still so ass? Okay, what are we doing? You can't tell anything in that footage except for how fucking cool the guy was in his demeanor, okay? You cannot tell if that's a well rod or a rod. You barely can tell it's a gun. Every goddamn CCTV footage still in 2024 is literally Vaseline lens, 1P. Makes no damn sense. Kathy Hochul stopping congestion pricing played a role in the escape. It didn't, but I want him to put in congestion pricing.
And what I'm seeing there is a typical semi-auto pistol with a suppressor that has been set up poorly and has malfunctioned on almost every shot. We see the guy grabbing the slide and yanking it back to clear malfunctions. That may seem like the same sort of motion that's required to cycle a Wellrod or VP9, but it's not. Having shot a number of Wellrods and VP9s, it's definitely a different mechanic going on. And looking at that video, the guy is clear.
This guy, okay, bro, how many times have you shot a fucking healthcare CEO, though? You know what I mean? Totally different circumstances, sir. He's like, oh, I shot a lot of Wellrods. Okay, not in the direction of a CEO. Maybe it's different. Have you thought about that? No, you haven't, okay? All you care about is the gun. It's a totally different, dude, you don't understand. It's a totally different motion in that moment. He knows how guns work, bro. Guys, I'm fucking joking. Can everybody calm down? Put some respect on Forgotten Weapon's name. It's a joke, dude. I'm joking. God damn. Half a chat was making fun of the fucking random debate lords at Cambridge who also do not have the capacity to understand jokes. And now they're doing it themselves. Gun perverts gonna out themselves as assassin because everyone's getting it wrong?
Clearly trying to fix a regular semi-auto pistol. He is not shooting a Wellrod or a VP9. I'm starting to see a bunch of comments coming through on mostly my
Were you serious when you said the casings had writings on them? That's what they're saying. Anyway, healthcare orders employees to not talk to the press in the wake of the CEO's murder. What? That's insane. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's saying fucking you can't talk to the... Oh, there's also new... Oh, God. Fucking one of the worst parts of being in EU is like every goddamn fucking webpage is like, accept the cookies, mate. Do you accept the cookies, mate? Anyway, let's get back to it. So yeah, UnitedHealthcare CEO is shot. A real doop, doop, doop situation, okay? The guy just fucking walks away. Now, that is obviously an interesting story in and of itself, but I think one of the more interesting aspects of this story one of the most interesting aspects of the story isn't even necessarily like the casings that he left on scene that said the words deny, defend, and depose, according to ABC News, which, by the way, is very similar to the title of the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It, by J.M. Feynman. Shooter of UnitedHealthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson wrote Deny, Defend, Depose on the shell casings. The words echo the name of a book about how insurers won't pay claims. It's an earthquake for corporate America. Do you think he's mad they're reporting the casing words in the wrong order? Probably not worried about that for the time being, but let's continue.
Confirmed male shot in the confines of Midtown North.
Police say it was around 6:45 a.m. Wednesday when the suspect, pictured at a Starbucks before the shooting, gunned down Thompson as he was walking alone into the Hilton for an investors conference. And in new video overnight, the shooter seen here about 20 minutes before the shooting.
They're looking for a male about 5 feet 10 inches in height, cream color.
Yo, by the way, like, you know, don't get mad at me. I don't want to be like inappropriate here, but he looks kind of fucking hot, dude. I cannot be the only person who immediately went, wow, clearly this guy has interesting style and also is kind of attractive, which is part of the reason why I thought if they catch him and he gets his message out and he's fucking hot, it's going to be a far more consequential problem. They should let him go. Honestly, I'm not even joking when I say this. They should let him go, because if they catch him and they arrest him and then he gets to talk and says, this is why I did it, it's going to be a Shinzo Abe situation. Fuck it. It already has become a Shinzo Abe situation. And that's actually the truly interesting part about this story. Now, America, we have gun violence all day, every day. And usually the gun violence that occurs is some random guy who fucking loses their minds for one reason or another, ends up killing some of the most marginalized people in society. It's either a teenager who wants to kill like black and brown people, go to El Paso, to fucking Walmart in El Paso, shoots like as many brown people as possible, goes to a fucking black neighborhood deliberately in Buffalo. It's either stuff like that, or again, someone who's like very clearly mentally ill's classmates, right? That's the norm. It's not the norm, and I said this when Donald Trump was shot. It's not the norm when you got a shooter who's like, you know, I'm actually going to do something consequential. I'm actually going to effectively identify where the vectors of my demise are, and I'm going to target them. That's not normal. And that's precisely the reason why when it's business as usual mass shootings, everybody goes, ugh, thoughts, prayers, whatever, right? But when this happens, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't do that. That's an important guy. That's a rich guy. That's an important guy. That's a guy who has power. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Go kill school children. The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean you killed a goddamn UnitedHealthcare CEO? Excuse me. Those are your lords and your masters. You don't, what do you mean? No, you're supposed to take your anger out on random Americans, dumbass. The fuck? And it's really interesting. It's really interesting when a peasant rises up against the Lord, you know? Because what I realized is when I see situations like that, maybe it's because I cover so much death and so much destruction that like it doesn't really faze me that much. I mean, I'm always like, that's interesting. It's usually the approach that I have. Now, I didn't realize I wasn't alone. I thought I was alone. I thought there was something wrong with my brain, you know? People took it way further than me. You go on TikTok. I went on TikTok. I saw the news coverage. And I would look at the comments. And literally everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, can you kill more CEOs, please? I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Hello? On fucking Facebook. On your grandpappy's Kalans meet. Motherfuckers are out there celebrating. Okay? What is going on? On Facebook, the UnitedHealthcare Facebook account, which is such a funny thing. Like, why the fuck do you have a Facebook account, UnitedHealthcare? Anyway, they did that. They posted about the death of their CEO. And the post got 21 22,000 smiley face responses, like laughing, crying. Can you imagine motherfuckers named Deborah and Barbara clicking on the post with like the 18 font and their tongue sticking out like they're and picking the fucking crying my face off laughing emoji to respond to it 21,000 times? 20 now is at 44? 50,000? The Deborahs and the Barbaras are the ones who are not supposed to be saying that. Look, this is crazy. Look, United Health Group. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who work with him. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. 41,000 ha-has. Only 2.2 thousand kind of sad crying faces. 42,000 ha-has? People are now saying it's 51K now. And it's like yet another instance where I think mainstream media and like all of the reputable outlets, reputable institutions, and everyone that's like covering this is diametrically opposed to the way that the overwhelming majority of the population is approaching the subject matter. Like the media is like thoughts and prayers. This person had a family, which is really interesting to say, and I'll get to that in a moment. Fuck it, I'll say it now. This person had a family. Yeah, you know who else has a family? The fucking cancer patient who got their coverage denied. You know what I mean? Like, this person had a family? That's crazy. I know. Okay? So does Bashar al-Assad. So does Vladimir Putin. Okay? Anyway, this person had a family. So did Ted Bundy, But most people were like this. Most people had this take. I'm sorry, prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. 15,000 likes. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. 16,000 likes. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't an emergency, and we were out $3K, full deductible. 5,000 likes. Is crazy what my first thought was. And then I look at the comments and realize I'm not alone in my thoughts. 1,000 likes. I just can't find the care. Maybe if they ask for pre-approval of my care, then after they care, their required deductible, I might be able to supplement some care. I can't even pretend to care. I hope he's looking up at us. It's like, if you're a CEO in one of these sectors, I'm not going to lie, dog, like quit or, bankrupt the company and then start advocating for full-blown healthcare, full communist healthcare, okay? Because goddamn, it's not me. Look, you're a titan of enterprise, okay? And so am I. I'm a rich guy myself. I would never say anything like that, but it seems like other people are saying it. Not me. Can't catch me slipping. I'm not saying it, but other people certainly are saying it. That's what I saw. I saw this and I thought to myself, damn, people are really upset about their health care. Then I thought to myself, if only there was a guy who wanted Medicare for all. If he was president, that motherfucker would probably be alive right now. I mean, it's true. Literally. Maybe he wouldn't have made like $900 gorillion last year, but he'd still be alive. You know what I'm saying? What's the JFK quote? Those who make peace impossible make violent retribution inevitable. Something along those lines, I think about that a lot. Or was it MLK? Ow, my head? No, that's not. Leftists are evil for wishing for people's deaths. Wishing for people's deaths. Dog, if you think, and I'm being so for real right now, okay? I'm being so for real with you. You can fucking fantasize about this all day, every day. Like, oh, it's the leftists that are doing it. If you think 1,000 socialists are posting ha-has on fucking Facebook, you might have gotten shot in the head too. There might be a bullet lodged in your fucking brain. Okay? Maybe you could be like, oh, TikTok, like they're all fucking little commies or whatever. No, dog, it's your neighbor and probably your aunt. Okay? The people who are excited about this is not just like some random card carrying commie that you fantasized about. It's your fucking aunt. Okay? In between finger blasting herself to old reruns of Steve Harvey, she posted haha on the UnitedHealthcare Facebook post. Okay? That's your aunt, dog. Go check in with her. Stop fantasizing about fucking card-carrying socialists that want death upon everybody, okay? Unless you think you're on as picked up a copy of Mao's Red Book or some shit. She turned down the volume on Andy Griffith to pose the crying, laugh, and react, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna be so real with you. This is like way beyond. This shit is way beyond the normal lefties want blood attitude. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking joking. If we ran a poll right now, straight up, if we ran a poll in America, if any polling company was brave enough to run a poll right now, anonymous, how many people think the killer should go free? You would be shocked by the results. Okay? You would be shocked straight up. If any polling company has the balls, they should run this fucking poll. The last time I was ever shocked in the United States of America was when they burned that fucking police precinct down, okay, after George Floyd. And then they polled Americans on it, and it was like 80% was like, we know why they did it. That is the last time I've ever been like, damn, things are different. This was a funny ass tweet I saw. My husband hasn't posted anything on the internet in years. He didn't even post the photos of our wedding, and he posted this. I think the hatred that people have for, you know, healthcare CEOs, the hatred people have for CEOs aside, and they hate CEOs, I think, but the hatred that they specifically have for healthcare CEOs, like, dude, oh my God. Oh my Lord. Things are interesting. You can't deny it. It's a shame the only political party interested in capitalizing on the rage Americans feel that this unjust society is the one who wants to direct it at immigrants and trans people. Democrats instead are like, it's disgraceful of you to be mad at our friends for killing you. Yeah, it's true. It's straight up. That was my first interpretation of all the ways in which people analyze this unconscionable act of violence. Chat, let me just say, I want to stress this importance, okay? I do not, what's the word? I don't want to fuck it up. I do not condone the assassination of insurance CEOs, healthcare CEOs. I do not condone it. I condemn it. Okay? I condemn. Just want to get it out of the way, you know? Just want to fucking say it off the rip. I don't want anybody clipping anything else and fucking running around. Maybe 6 years later, I'm at a debate stage and someone comes up and is like, at a time when there's a lot of political violence, don't you feel responsible for healthcare insurance executives getting assassinated? You know, I don't want none of that. Okay. Yeah. Little bro will put the condemnation in the bag. Okay. I will. Kind of lame. Sorry. But having said that, having gotten my condemnations out of the way, my very serious, my very sincere condemnations out of the way, it is very interesting. It is very interesting. I would never say it, but what I'm seeing other people say, oh my God, okay? Not me. I would never say it. You can't even catch me thinking it. But what I have seen from others is that Medicare for on the ballot, 100% of the votes. Okay, full table sweep. I'm not saying nothing, but it does seem like people are very mad about the healthcare situation in this country. I'm not saying it, but many people are. You feel me? So let's talk about this. Claim denial rates by insurance companies. Now, UnitedHealthcare happens to be at the tippy top right after Medica there, as you can see. 2%. Now, the numbers, I was talking to my chat today. It's so lame that you and I now have to act like politicians because we are Twitch streamers. Incredible. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to act like politicians. Let's be real. I compared Israel to ISIS very publicly at the Oxford Union, and I got a fucking standing ovation. So I don't think, maybe good politicians. So great deliberative body. Think about that, bro. I went to the Oxford Union. Oxford Union has hosted Yasser Arafat, Madeleine Albright, Winston fucking Churchill, and now Hasan Piker, who sat up there on that fucking podium and said, saying Israel represents Judaism is like saying ISIS represents true Islam. That's crazy. What a time to be alive. So, did you pick a bottle of mayonnaise? No, this is Bear Bell's milkshake. I've never had this in America, but this is the it's pretty good. It's got 24 grams of protein. But yeah, this that leads to tens of thousands of people dying. Okay, just so you know, all of this leads to tens of thousands of people dying every year. Now the problem is, this kind of death is handled by so many people, so many hands touch it. And not only that, but it's streamlined and it's legal. And perhaps more importantly, it's at the behest of the profit motive. When those three things are combined, most people, even if they feel it in their hearts, that it's like no different than fucking murder, they don't necessarily have the same analysis. That's why you don't think of this guy as like a ruthless warlord who's individually, killing children and babies, even though his actions are directly responsible for it. And yes, very famously, champagne socialist Friedrich Engels, gay lover of Karl Marx, second Engels mentioned in 24 hours is crazy. He called this concept social murder, the unnatural death that occurs due to social, political, or economic oppression. He coined this in the 1845 work, The Condition of the Working Class in England, whereby the class which at present holds social and political control, i.e. the bourgeoisie, places hundreds of proletarians in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death. This was in a different category to murder and manslaughter committed by individuals against one another, as social murder explicitly was committed by the political and social elite against the poorest in society. And social murder is invisible in many ways. It's very visible when it happens to a loved one, but the way that society is designed, especially under capitalism, the system is designed so that you don't really realize who's doing this. Okay? Let's read the full quote. When one individual inflicts bodily injury upon another such that death results, we call that deed manslaughter. When the assailant knew in advance that the injury would be fatal, we call his deed murder. But when society places hundreds of proletarians in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death, one which is quite as much a death by violence as that by the sword or bullet, falling into a chimney. I think they had chimney sweeps back then. Like little kids would fucking die when they were doing chimney sweep shit. That kind of stuff. Or maybe when your healthcare coverage is denied and then you die, or you kill yourself because you can't take on the 60 grand in medical debt, or you choose not to get the proper medical attention because you can't pay for it. That sort of stuff. That's what factors into the social death. But yes, when a worker is in such a place, in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death, one which is quite as much a death by violence as by sword or a bullet, when it deprives thousands of the necessities of life, places them under the conditions in which they cannot live, forces them through the strong arm of the law to remain in such conditions until that death ensues, which is the inevitable consequence, knows that these thousands of victims must perish and yet permits these conditions to remain, its deed is murder, just as surely as the deed of a single individual, disguised, malicious murder, murder against which none can defend himself, which does not seem what it is, because no man sees the murderer, because the death of the victim seems a natural one, since the offense is more one of omission than of commission, but murder it remains. And that's precisely what this is. This dichotomy exists within state violence as well. State retains a monopoly of violence, and therefore when the state engages in very violent ways, it is not considered violence. But when an individual fights back against the state, then it's violence. That's why when police use tear gas on unsuspecting protesters, it's not considered to be a violent act. That's why newspapers say violence broke out when protesters used when protesters kicked back the tear gas canisters in the direction of the police. So that's what it is. That's what exactly this is, right? What 2 days in Oxbridge does to a motherfucker? Oh, come on. So that's what happened here. And I think a lot of people, even if they don't fully understand that this person is responsible for a lot of death and destruction, I think that they are getting there. Does that make sense? I think people are recognizing they're angry, and they're recognizing a little bit why they're angry. That's all I'm saying, you know? But let's get back to our shooter.
Jacket, black mask, black gloves.
It does seem.
This eyewitness snapping a picture of the suspect as he fled.
I was shocked, you know, and I feared that.
All right, bro, chill. Like, maybe he didn't know what he did, though.
Could shoot me too.
By the time police arrived, the suspect had run off and hopped a bicycle to get away. Detectives now working to determine whether he had pre-positioned that bike close by. New video overnight showing the suspect pedaling his bike on the Upper West Side. Officers found the 50-year-old...
No fucking way. He's just still biking around?
Working to determine whether he had pre-positioned that bike close by. New video overnight showing the suspect pedaling his bike...
Is that even him? I just don't... Armchair urbanists rejoice, by the way. But like, do we even know that that's the guy? Because what he's wearing is such a normal fit. It could be anyone, really. I don't think that's the guy. I think the cops should just give up on looking for this guy. It could be anybody, really. I don't think that, innocent victims should get caught in the process and be harassed. I feel like that's not him. It's not the same bike. It doesn't look like the same guy. It just looks like a different guy. Why are we harassing random civilians? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I saw the dude's face and I was like, I don't even know what he looks like. I can't see it. I don't know what his face is. I don't even know what a face is. I have face blindness, officer. Yeah, it's a real problem. I'm an anti-white racist. Was the guy white? I couldn't even tell. I'm race blind as well. I'm not only face blind, but also race blind. It could be anybody. It could be me. I don't fucking know. I'm in England and I'm confused, you know? I'm just saying. It's a weird situation. I don't see color. And also, I am completely face blind, so.
The West Side. Officers found the 50-year-old insurance executive and father of two collapsed on the sidewalk. Did he have any known enemies or anyone that you've been able to find?
Yeah, the American people. Hold on. Stop. I'm just annoyed with the way the camera looks. Like, it's too high up and I need to fix it. And I can't fix it, so it's annoying me.
We're reaching out to law enforcement in Minnesota, and we're also interviewing his co-workers and family members to see if there have been any specific threats against him in the past.
To have a pillar of the community in New York, admittedly, for a stockholder meeting, to be gunned down on the street is just so foreign.
Even as the leader of a large corporation, Thompson did not have a security team with him. Investigators say they found
a real man of the people. Think about all the jobs this is going to create, though, chat. Trump's America, baby. We got new jobs coming in. These motherfuckers are going to need to get security, like constant 24-hour security. Think about that. God, if I was like a private security guard company, oh my gosh, so many veterans will be hired. Yeah. I do want everybody to know, yes, Brian Thompson won't see your cruel jokes about him because he's dead, but all of your friends that make millions and millions and millions of dollars off the debts of their customers will. Yeah, it's true. Meanwhile, really interesting time for Blue Cross Blue Shield to come out with some motion. Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri has declared it will no longer pay for anesthesia for the full length of some surgeries. Well, okay then. Just kidding. Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri, as of today, said, never mind, we're not going to do that, actually. They were like, yo, my bad. Hey, my bad. I had a real sudden change of mind. Okay? Real change of heart. The Hochul, New York governor, said, we pushed Anthem to reverse course, and today we'll be announcing a full reversal of the misguided policy. Last night, I shared my outrage at a plan from Anthem to strip away coverage from New Yorkers who had to go under anesthesia for surgery. We pushed Anthem to reverse course, and today they will be announcing a full reversal of this misguided policy. Don't mess with the health and well-being of New Yorkers, not on my watch. Kathy Hochul's so funny. Like, did you Did you shoot the CEO? You can't take credit for that. You're literally using your police forces to hunt down this person right now. Fuck you mean? NYPD response getting cooked on TikTok.
Yo, the billionaire who got shot, that was not funny. The police's response to that, that was hilarious. If you don't know what happened, there was a billionaire who got like assassinated today at like 7 in the morning. And the NYPD has been on the news all morning talking about like the footage, and they keep gassing up this guy. Every clip of the NYPD talking about this hitman is like, yo, he was nice. He was nice. He had to be a professional. If he wasn't a professional, he should have gone pro. His form was immaculate. You see the way he reloaded it when it jammed? Come on. Honestly, I've got my boys back in the station studying his form. This dude was elite. Used the silencer and got away on a city bike. Come on now. This dude is incredible. He might have been Jason Bourne.
He's not kidding. That's literally every morning news show with a retired detective on basically had this. They were glazing, which, by the way, I wouldn't even say glaze. It's like LeBron, okay? It's like LeBron James. Like, is it glaze or is it valid? The question comes to mind. And I feel like the expertise that this guy demonstrated, I don't know. I don't think it's glazing. I think it's valid. I don't think it's glaze. I think it's valid. Imagine planning and executing the murder of a CEO in public in the biggest city in America, getting away with it, then going online and seeing a bunch of Reddit experts explaining how you're not a professional hitman. Yeah, I think a lot of people are fucking haters, dude. I think people are just straight hating on my man. It's like, have you fucking had a situation like that? I don't think so. I mean, straight up. Look. This statement in and of itself is not celebrating this heinous act, okay? This wrong act. You understand me? I would never do such a thing. I would never. You can't catch me slipping today. Do you understand? You cannot catch me slipping today. But also, I mean, shit was clean. It was clean. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, he shot him in the leg first. Like, bitch, who cares? What do you mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that he was apprehended after unsuccessfully assassinating a CEO, because it seems like he was successful. The fuck? I condemn. I do not condone. I condemn. But I'm just looking simply at the facts of the matter. Okay?
That is the funniest part of it. Like, even after all of this, the police are on the hunt for a hitman, and they still got to be like, yo, this dude's game is incredible. Game respects game.
How convenient that you have an alibi and that you're out of the country, Hasan. Anyway, anyone know where I can find the full video of the assassination? Brother, are you kidding me? Where can't you find it? I think I've watched it like 700 times since it happened. And I was like looking away. I was like, oh, I can't see this. This sucks. I hate seeing this. This is really fucked up. That's what I said. I was doing this the whole time. Whenever I would see it on accident, because my fucking timeline was just literally all that, I would do this the whole time, dude. All the way to Oxford from London, 2 whole hours in the car. I'm going this is what I'm doing. My mom and dad are like, what's wrong, son? What's happening? I'm like, the shame, the horror. I just, you hate to see it. New camera footage. Oh yeah. Also, I don't know if this is the actual guy, but like, you know, even from the first photo where you can kind of see his face, like, he looks fucking hot. So I know it's a different fit. They think it's the same guy. He's just wearing a different fit. I do think that, you know, I do not trust the New York Police Department. Yeah, I like this post. I saw this. First time riding the subway. Who even said it was a guy to begin with? Could be a woman. So we literally have nothing to go on and should stop the hunt. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How can you be sure? I can't. Can you say with a certainty? Maybe it was Kathy Hochul. Look at how much she's chirping at Aetna and Anthem and whatever the fuck. Was it Kathy Hochul? Where the fuck was she? I think what's best is to take a step back at moments like this. The police, let me tell you something. As you guys know, I love the police. Okay? And as the #1 defender of police, I think they have a lot going on. They have too much on their plates. So I think this is one of those instances where, given the limitations that they have with the job, which is a very difficult job, okay, all those homeless people that are, you know, sitting out the sidewalk, unkicked, you know, black teenagers frolicking about, unharassed. I mean, think about so many people that the police have to deal with on a daily basis. Maybe they should take a break. The blue flu. I'm just saying, there are Candy Crush levels that have yet to be tackled. Back the blue. Thin blue line, back the blue. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Cops, they have a lot going on. They have a lot going on. And I think, given that they have a lot on their plates, they should just kind of, you know, take their time, figure it out, you know, try to really reconsider. Anyway, let's keep going.
Shell casings with writing on them, including the words deny, defend, and depose. They also say they found a cell phone, granola bar wrappers, and a water bottle they believe are linked to the shooter.
See, now that could be anybody's cell phone. That could be anybody's granola. I've dropped my cell phone on the side of a crowded street and just kind of left it behind. Sometimes we have busy days, okay? We have busy days.
An assassination-style killing coming at the height of the holiday season while New York is packed with tourists for the nearby lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The NYPD increased patrols and security in the subways.
You know, day-to-day in New York is really scary, and I think that...
This is such a funny take from like a random person because it's such a very clearly deliberate, targeted attack. Like, it's not... Dog, I don't think they're going to kill you, okay? like, what do you mean? Like, you know who should be scared in this process? Like, other healthcare CEOs. If I'm a healthcare CEO and I fucking hear about this, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I am hiring the maximum security, okay? Like, I'm hiring dudes that only did war crimes, okay? Like, Blackwater mercenaries, but exclusively the ones that did the most amount of war crimes. I need just like the most roided up fucking brigade around me 24/7. This guy, you're like a fucking shitty desk jockey analyst, okay? At some random fucking corporation. Like, I don't think anybody's coming after you, dog. Like, it's not like if it was a mass shooting or something, like, yeah, that makes sense. You're like, oh man, America's so violent. Like, people randomly die in the streets. It's crazy. Like, this wasn't random, you know?
Everyone here is doing their part to make sure that we have a safe event here.
A family is now grieving this loss. Thompson's wife, Paulette, telling ABC News, "We are shattered to hear about the senseless killing of our beloved Brian. Brian was an incredibly loving, generous, talented man who fullest and touched so many lives."
Police have not identified the suspect, but they are building a profile, Robin, of a man with a grudge, possibly against UnitedHealthcare or the insurance industry in general. Robin.
And what about the writings?
You think?
On those bullet casings, what does that tell police?
That could be another clue toward motive. To take the time to actually write on the shell casings indicates not only premeditation, but also a deeply personal type killing. And those words, deny, depose, defend, those are words often associated with the insurance industry. Robin?
All right, our thanks to you, Aaron. Okay.
We actually have some breaking news just coming in the search for the...
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I already said this earlier, but if they catch this fucking dude and he says his piece and he's fucking hot, things will change. Okay, this is it feels like a real Shinzo Abe situation. Okay, straight up, like, this dude will be a god if they catch him. You're so fixated on the hot thing? Yes, dude. What do you mean? Of course I am. The fuck? People flick their beans to fucking Ted Bundy. What are you talking about? People are fucking freaks. This guy literally didn't do Ted Bundy shit. He did something that a lot of people seemingly, not me, but other people seem to agree with what he did. Okay. So yeah, public trial OD the decade. Have you been on Twitter? Look at this. He's got that hung smile, 30,000 likes. Not just Twitter, even your ops. Green text, all in agreement. He's celebrating the assassination. Wait, what? That I wasn't even live when the thing happened. Called insurance companies evil, said was deserved. Chat spamming RIP Bozo. I mean, so is everyone else. I didn't say that. I would never. I have not condoned. I have condemned. Yeah. What a crazy thing that motherfuckers on 4chan do, by the way. Is crazy. Wait, wait a minute. Did someone on 4chan turn around and fucking act like I actually celebrated the assassin to try and get me canceled, only to find out that other people on 4chan were like, yeah, no, everyone is celebrating. So they tried to fucking drum up a fake cancellation on 4chan, and it turned out to be like a unifying moment. Like I wasn't even live when this shit happened. Is this real? Is this a real post? Yeah, I must have celebrated the assassination before it happened. I was wearing the shirt 2 days ago. That's so funny that my fucking haters that constantly try to get me canceled, my haters that constantly try to get me canceled ended up fucking making me look good, I guess. I don't understand. Trying to cancel you for things people would support you for saying if you did. Wait, they did. They literally did. They made this up. This is from, oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, so is everyone else. What the fuck's wrong with these people, bro? Just, I feel, back in the day, I used to joke about this shit where I was like, bro, the world could be fucking ending and my haters would find a way to make it about me somehow. Like I could be not live that day and the nukes are flying and they'd be like, Hasan did this, 1,000 upvotes. Like that's crazy that they just like fucking, that's crazy that they went there and like tried to do a cancellation by being like, oh, he's celebrating it. You were live at Cambridge Union at the time? Yeah. That is truly a fucking insane thing. My brother, every day you're not live, I fully expect shit like that to go down. Yeah. That's so funny. Look at this. I'm torn between shitting on Hasan and celebrating the death of a piece of human garbage. You can do both without being torn. I can shit on him today too, accidentally having a good opinion at once. I didn't even, that's crazy. This has 9,000 up. Bro, people are so fucking stupid. It's crazy. Like last time you weren't live, they manufactured a situation where you were suicidal to the point that your IRL friends were concerned. I know. It is pretty nutty. Pearl Mania popped off, 10 million views on TikTok.
They stepped over his body and started the meeting on time. He was in Manhattan at 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. investor meeting. He got in front of the main doors to the building of the investor. They could have had this shit on Zoom. Instead, they had to be there in person. Why they had to be there in person? Because we need to make sure commercial real estate is flourishing. He got by an assassin with a silencer while he wore a jacket thinking about PowerPoint presentations on how he is returning value to shareholders by denying health care to moms with breast cancer. And he got caught in the street and they stepped over his body. Those investors that he was working for, the shareholders that he held dear as a CEO, they stepped over his pool of blood. They kicked the shell casings that led to the end of his life down the street because the meeting still had to start on time. These companies don't give a fuck about nobody. He's the CEO, the chief executive officer of a healthcare company. They fucking didn't even check to see if he still had a pulse. They just wanted to check the stock price, which, mind you, went up 2.5% when they found out his ass was dead. Do less at work.
I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up.
And I'm swerving in the streets, got you low.
I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up.
Swerving in the streets, got you low.
I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up.
Swerving in the streets, got you low.
I'm very sorry, and I apologize.
Why did it only play one video and not more?
Hear the status?
Anyway, I had to change. Oh my God. I had to get out of my freaking please be live Sunday because I'm afraid your curse is gonna rub off on the Romanian presidential election. That would be external interference in our election.